What's going on, everyone? About 53% of the S&P 500 closed down in the red today, but it was a crazy explosive day as Tesla, Google, and many other stocks ripped past their all-time highs. Elon became the first person to have a net worth greater than $400 billion. And then we have even more important events set to release tomorrow before open. In today's video, we're going to cover everything you have to know about the market right now, some of the hottest setups to keep on your radar, and we're also going to look back throughout market history and show what the market normally does during these times. We have a great video today, and there is a lot going on. It is a great time to be a trader, and I'm excited for today's episode, Tom.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about today, Mike, and I guess first things first, what really got the buying going this morning? It was the CPI data that ended up coming out right in line with expectations, and it did pop up that 0.1% that we were talking about on the year-over-year rate just a little bit, but the market did not care, of course, and of course, whenever data comes in with expectations, the market usually reacts in a pretty positive way, and we can see that in pre-market today, there was a really nice push that got the buying started. And of course, once the market opened, we started seeing great runs out of Tesla, Google, and a few of these really hot stocks here in the short term. I would say today, Mike, though, Tesla definitely stole the headlines as it made new all-time highs. Everybody was eyeing up $420 today, and it ended up breaking that in a pretty crazy way. And there's not really any news that necessarily pushed Tesla above this today, but I will say, obviously, since the election, Tesla has been, I would say, one of the hottest stocks in the market. Just about anything Elon touches is hot right now.
Seriously, Tesla has been full rocket mode ever since the election. And, this crazy movement in Tesla's stock price actually made Elon have a net worth greater than $400 billion today. So that is pretty crazy to see. And Tesla just has a ton of momentum right now. It has been running in such a strong way. And what would you say are the next key levels to keep in mind with this one? Of course, to the upside, but also key supports to watch for tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so firstly, whenever I'm looking at Tesla today, Mike, there was some pretty crazy action around that $420 mark, so I'm definitely going to keep watching that area as a key support for tomorrow. And something that was kind of funny today is I don't know if Elon Musk was playing around or what was happening, but something that Bookmap allows us to do is see some of the intraday price action and obviously liquidity on these stocks. And there was somebody making orders on Tesla today at $420.69. And kind of pushing Tesla's stock below here for a few minutes until it finally ended up breaking it. But I thought that was hilarious, Mike. But looking at some of the bigger levels for tomorrow, I think overhead, the high of day today right around 428 is going to be crucial. But even the 430 mark, which is a nice whole dollar level, should act as a good psychological resistance overhead. So that's really what I'm watching, and I want to see 420 hold as support.
Yeah, that will be key, so definitely keep that on the radar. Tesla is such a crazy stock right now, and it has some of the best momentum in the entire market. But like you said, Tom, it seems like everything Elon touches turns to gold, especially in the short term. And if you look at stock ticker symbol DXYZ, you will see this thing is ripping to the upside as SpaceX just got valued at $350 billion today. Ticker symbol DXYZ owns companies like SpaceX, OpenAI, Superhuman, Epic Games, and others. It's a bunch of high growth companies and, just another one to keep on the radar given all these recent events.
DXYZ is pretty insane here, Mike. I don't know how often that we've looked at stocks on the channel where there's an average percent rise of 11% over the past year. I mean, that is an insane number there. And DXYZ's holdings are very interesting, like you named some of those there. SpaceX is the biggest holding at 36.9% of this. So that's a cool thing to see. And of course, Epic Games, Instacart, there's a couple of things on here that definitely interest me. But nonetheless, SpaceX is a very interesting interesting company. I cannot wait to see how this progresses over the next 4 years as Elon and Trump work together to try to propel the United States into outer space. Elon, I think, is going to have a lot on his hands here.
Yep, so it will be exciting to see, so keep a close eye on DXYZ and Tesla. But another stock that is soaring to the heavens is Google. So I know we talked about this stock a lot in yesterday's video off their quantum computing news, but Tom, this one just keeps on running.
Yeah, it definitely does, Mike. And I guess traders are still loving that quantum computing news, of course. And I think that the sentiment behind this news has been getting greater and greater. You know, they keep talking about these big breakthroughs with this new chip and obviously how quick it can be and the tasks that can be performed. And there's big players out there like Elon and, of course, other analysts and players out there that say that this is a huge deal. So I definitely think this is interesting, Mike. Google is running to the heavens. Like you mentioned, new all-time highs are coming into play as of today. And I guess the main level that I think everyone's going to be watching is $200 coming up. There's a big whole dollar psychological level there. And I would think tomorrow there's a good chance to test that considering how much momentum we've seen.
Sounds good. So yeah, 200 is going to be a key level, but even like right around 196 will provide like a little bit of resistance as well, as that is like the area where like the stock struggled a bit today. For support, I am seeing some levels right around like $192.50 and even like around that like $191.50 area, which were like two of the supports from today intraday. So either way, keep Google close on watch as it has a ton of momentum, and it is one of the stocks literally leading the market. But while Google and Tesla are very exciting, we can't forget about the popular stocks from a couple weeks ago, like Palantir and Nvidia. What's going on there?
Yeah, it's definitely not good here, Mike. So Palantir ended up falling off quite a bit today. It opened. Now, I will say it closed up 2.29%, which wasn't terrible, but we've been seeing a lot of pullbacks out of some of these stocks that have been running like Palantir and Nvidia. It's not like everything is continuing to push to these new highs. Nvidia did have a good bounce back up today, which was nice to see right around this key 135 support. So that's a good positive thing to watch for tomorrow. And if they can get a good move back above 140, I think that there could be another good recovery day out of Nvidia, especially if the market is as positive as it was today. It was a hard day to be read out there.
Yeah, seriously. But what's kind of funny is that when we look at the heat map, 53% of stocks were in the red. So essentially what that tells you is that you have to really focus on where the money is actually flowing, you know, and big tech is certainly, you know, the spot to focus on right now, especially like Tesla, Google, and others. But, you know, even when you look at some of the, you know, generally hot stocks like Palantir and Nvidia that aren't as hot this week, the main takeaway is that they're just moving in a slower way. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to fall off the face of the earth or necessarily rip past all-time highs. It's just like they're losing some attention towards them, so they are going to slow down. So just keep that in mind with these ones. They are losing some attention. But another important thing that we're definitely going to have to keep on the radar for tomorrow is the PPI data that is set to release 1 hour before open.
Yeah, at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, like you said, 1 hour before open, the PPI data will be coming out, along with the weekly initial jobless claims there as well. And then there is the 30-year bond auction at 1 p.m. In the afternoon there. But yeah, PPI data, it won't be as big, I'd say, as the inflation data today, but it's definitely going to probably at least cause a little bit of volatility in pre-market. So definitely have your eyes on the SPY.
Yep, and then for earnings, we do have some interesting stocks set to report tomorrow as well. We have Lovesac before open, and then we have Broadcom, and then Costco after the bell. So keep them on the radar. They aren't like the craziest moving stocks ever, but they can have some decent moves from time to time. But it's crazy to say this, but we are about a third of the way through December, and Santa's set to come pretty soon, but at least from a trading perspective, it looks like we'll have to wait at least another week or so. Historically speaking, December is a very strong month of the year for the stock market, but as we can see by looking at this data that goes all the way back to 1950, that most of December's gains ends up happening in that second half of the month. So keep that in mind, and I'm pretty excited for the end of this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, of course, right? Because Christmas is like right around the 25th. So I guess the Santa rally does happen there around the end of December. But that's very interesting to see there, Mike. So far, this December has been pretty hot. So we'll see how it continues. Hopefully, the SPY can get back above this recent high here. But yeah, we're already almost halfway through the month. I can't believe it. It has been one hell of a year, Mike. And some of the historical data has been very fun. It plays out pretty dang well overall this year. So I'll definitely be watching for more of the Christmas rally, right? And as we start to look through, I would say some of these Christmas stocks, Mike, what are some stocks that you would say would be like some Christmas rally stocks for you? You know, some people think like Walmart, Costco, stocks like that. We might see those big earnings with Costco. That could get fun.
Everything big tech, Tom. Follow the money. Follow the money. So, the Mag 7 stocks are really where the money's at right now. And like in an ultra short-term perspective, you could really look at stocks like Google, Tesla, and others. And I think the main key is just being willing to adapt. As we could see from this week, everyone's talking about Google and Tesla. But, last week, Apple was getting all the attention. And a couple weeks before that, everyone was talking about Nvidia. So I think it's really about just like following the money, and that's the name of the game. But, as we look at, let's say, the market as a whole, we're still very close to all-time highs, and this big tech rally is certainly helping out quite a bit. So what do you have for the key levels and analysis for tomorrow?
Yeah, the all-time high on SPY is right around 609, so we need to really see a good push past that for tomorrow, but there is some major resistance where SPY actually rejected today and multiple times throughout this week, which is 608.50. It just keeps rejecting there, so that's going to need to break before we get to 609, of course. If we do break 609, 610 should be a good psychological level to keep in mind after that, but we are in uncharted territory after that, Mike, so it'll just be pretty much a game of momentum. If there is a good rejection, the main supports I'm watching are 607, 605.80, 605, and then 604. And of course, we've talked about that 604 to 605 support range a ton over the past couple weeks. So if there is a dip, I would definitely watch that.
All right, sounds good, and we will definitely keep that in mind. But besides that, Tom, we are all set and ready to get right into today's predictions and setups for tomorrow. A stock that is definitely on the radar is Apple, and this is a contrarian play, so there's your warning. Apple has been crushing it over the past couple of weeks, which is awesome to see. It did have some relatively weak price action today, though, that I wasn't a big fan of, where it made a new all-time high early on, but ever since that point, it ended up selling off in a decent way. When we look at the daily chart of Apple, we can see something interesting happened multiple times in Apple's recent history. We'll first look at the time right around like July 15th of 2024. We could see up to that point, Apple was rallying in a pretty strong way. Once it got to like, let's say July 15th or so, the uptrend got to the point where it was just, too overextended, where it couldn't really sustain itself anymore. It had a decent red candle and ended up pulling back for actually multiple weeks. Then just a couple weeks later, we could see that there was a strong uptrend again through, let's say, August 5th to, let's say, August 29th. This was a multiple week uptrend, just like we've seen in recent history. You had a decent sized red candle where it wicked high, and then it ended up pulling back again for a couple weeks. So I am looking for a pattern like this one with Apple. In the worst case scenario, Apple shows a lot of strength tomorrow, breaks past its all-time high, and then the trade just gets stopped out. But in the best case scenario, maybe we see a decent sized pullback here. So either way, Apple is on my bearish radar, not only for tomorrow, but even like the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think, are discounting this big resistance on Apple at 250 as well. That's a big psychological spot here, and I think that with the way it moved down back below support today, that was a pretty bad move by Apple. I'll definitely be watching it to the downside with you, Mike. With my next setup, I'm looking at a firm to the upside. This stock was up 5.4% today. I'm going to be looking for a push past $71.15 for tomorrow. I like the way it broke above $70 today, and I want to see it hold that. But AFRM has been seeing a little bit of chop in the short term here up at the top, and I like that green candle today for another possible continuation here.
All right, there we go. I will definitely keep this one on the radar as well. And another stock that I'm definitely watching, and this one is pretty risky, so keep that in mind. It's ticker symbol RGTI. This is a stock that has been moving up in a pretty strong way, especially with the recent quantum computing hype. RGTI had a pretty good day today as it popped up by 14%, but the intraday price action was really weak, especially at open. Small cap stocks like this one are especially volatile and extremely crazy. Either way, given how much hype we are seeing with this like recent Google quantum computing news, definitely has a ripple effect, especially to smaller cap quantum computing stocks. RGTI has been one of the stocks that has been moving in the strongest way with this recent hype. RGTI is on my radar for a potential continuation to the upside, but I cannot stress enough that I want to see strong, consistent upwards movement with this one, and it is extremely important to adapt quickly. These stocks are volatile, and you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the trend.
Yeah, this is a crazy one, Mike. Another one where like the average percent rise this year is 7.1%. So this one definitely has some volatility to it. And this stock was even ripping before the Google news came out, which was pretty big. And then, of course, it just got even more accelerated over the past couple days. But with my next setup, I'm looking at one that we haven't mentioned in a long time, which is Roblox, up 6.45%. I love how they really ripped above their recent high, and they're kind of bouncing off that. So if they're able to break above 61 tomorrow, I'm going to look for this trend to continue here where they keep breaking out above these recent highs. So I'm really looking for that $61 break on this one.
There we go. All right, Tom. Well, we are all set for today's momentum plays. And with the first one, we have JBLU to the upside.
Yeah, I'm going to really be watching JBLU for a breakout above $7.65. It was up 11% today.
Alrighty, with the next one, we have SQ also to the upside.
Yeah, SQ is looking pretty hot today. A nice 4% runner, and there's a nice resistance here intraday at $99. And of course, we'll be watching $100. Once we get past that, you could do a possible $1 scalp there. But shout out to Bookmap here. I really do like this $100 resistance. There was around 44,000 shares stacked up there at the end of the day. So definitely have your eyes on that.
Yeah, huge shout out to Bookmap. We love you. You guys are like X-ray vision for the stock market. And if you guys have not already tried Bookmap, definitely consider trying it. It's like X-ray vision for the stock market where you could see exactly the key pivotal levels for each stock because you could see exactly where buyers and sellers are lined up at. Like Tom said, we have, about 45,000 sell orders stacked up at that $100 level. And this is especially useful with like crazy moving stocks like Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, Palantir, and others because, the sell walls are, in the hundreds of thousands of shares. So if you guys want to try it out, you will save using the StockedUp link in the description and the comments down below. But besides that one, Tom, with the next momentum play, we have Zoom also to the upside.
Yeah, ticker symbol ZM. If they're able to break out above 87, then keep watching Zoom up as well.
Alrighty, so we have Zoom, Square, and JetBlue on watch for potential momentum-style setups to the upside tomorrow. If and only if they break through the levels listed, the stronger and more consistent these stocks move, the better the setups become. These stocks are volatile. Be happy to flow and adjust with the trend changes. But either way, keep these stocks on watch. And besides that, Tom, it is now about that time for today's $430,000 big money trade. And we are looking at ticker symbol NEM. So for those of you who don't know, NEM is the world's largest gold mining company, and gold prices did pretty good today, which was nice to see. But basically, the big money today bought the $37.50 strike call options that expire on February 21st of 2025. This is a bullish trade where they want the stock to go up, and the more it goes up, the more they'll make. NEM has been dipping pretty hard over the past couple of weeks, and it looks like the big money is buying this dip up in a pretty aggressive way. I like how these call options are deep in the money and have time to them, and this one will definitely be worth keeping on the radar.
Yeah, I really like the $40 support on NEM there, Mike. There's been a couple different big money plays on NEM over here while it's been kind of around this bottom range, and I'll definitely be watching it for a nice pop back up. Like you mentioned, gold has been doing pretty well in the short term, coming back to the upside in a pretty good way. I think that gold has actually been under the radar in a pretty massive way because we've been seeing so many good all-time highs that we don't necessarily need to see, I guess, gold, right? Whenever we have Nvidia moving 10% in a day or something crazy like that. But nonetheless, NEM is a pretty crazy mover, and I'll be watching it to the upside. Some of these gold stocks are pretty fun swings.
There we go. Then we also have to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, NinjaStar53, who's been in the Discord for about 2 months now, and they had a great post today showing some awesome, what they call small account growth. So huge shout out to you, NinjaStar, and keep on rolling. It's awesome to see screenshots like these ones, but I'll tell you, with everything being said, it really is a great time to be a trader. We have stocks ripping to the upside, Tesla's doing its thing, and I think we're set for a great end to 2024 and an amazing 2025 as well. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities heading into the end of this year and even the start of next year, and I'm just very excited. If you guys are new to the channel, consider obliterating that subscribe button to get our videos recommended to you more often. Every single video, we cover the most important news, information, earnings, events, big money trades, and everything you have to know in like 20 to 25 minutes or less, most of the time at least. And when you subscribe, you'll get our videos recommended to you more often. I cannot emphasize enough, if you have not tried out Bookmap yet, definitely check it out. It's going to be that first link in the description in the comments down below. You save with the StockedUp link, and it's quite literally like x-ray vision for stocks. So definitely check that out. But besides that, thank you all so much for watching, and let's crush it in the market tomorrow.